Hi lovelies, you are welcome to today's tutorial. Today we'll be looking into how to cut and sew a BUBU or KAFTAN gown. Here our fabric has been folded into 4. As we are cutting, that means we are cutting both the front and the back bodies together. Now I went ahead and created out a starting point, or you could call it a shoulder line. So from this starting point, I went ahead and marked down the shoulder measurement. The shoulder of my client is 16 inches. Divided into 2, we have 8 inches. So I chalked down 8 inches at that point. So from that point, that means the rest of our fabric is our sleeve length at the shoulder area, which is 14 inches. So I chalked down 14 inches from that point. That's from this point till the shoulder area is 14 inches for our sleeve. I came down 1 inch for our shoulder slant. A shoulder slant could be ½ inch, 1 inch, 1.5 inches, depending on your preference. So I went ahead and took out the width of our neckline. So the wideness of our neck is 3.5 inches, and the depth or the deepness is 1 inch for the back. That's for the back. I curved it out. So first of all, cut the back, after which we'll now work on the front area. But for the meantime, I went ahead to chalk down or carve out our sleeve area. I traced our shoulder slant all the way to the neck line. So sorry if our chalk is not visible. So I went ahead and cut out the back neckline and also the shoulder slant. So all the way from our shoulder slant, I came down for our sleeve opening, or you could call that our sleeve length, 11 inches for our sleeve opening. So here is for our sleeve opening. So I went ahead and used my pattern master to trace it out, like so. So all the way from my shoulder line, I came down for the full length of the gown. The full length is 60 inches in length. 2 inches is for hemming at the lower area, while 58 inches is the full length of my client. So altogether what we have there is 60 inches full length. So from shoulder point, I came down for the waist, 16 inches, while for the hip is 25 inches in length. I went ahead and traced it out. That's for the waist, so also for the hip line area. So that's that. So I'll go ahead and chalk down the circumference for our waist. The waist of my client is 38 inches. I went ahead and chalked down 9.5. 38 divided into 4, we have 9.5 inches. And also I added 3 extra inches. 2 inches is for ease, as it's a free gown, while the 1 inch is for sewing allowance. So I went down for the hip. Hip is 44 inches, into 4 we have 11 inches. So I went down and marked down 11 inches. So I went ahead and added 3 extra inches, 2 inches for ease and 1 inch for seam allowance. So that's that for our waist. So I went ahead and traced it out from the hip to the waist. Yes. I'm so sorry if the shark is not so visible. So from the hip, I trace it upwards to meet the waist area. So now, all the way from the hip, I will take it all the way down to the hem of the gown. So I use my pattern master to trace it all the way down to the hem of her gown. So remember, at the hem of the gown, there will be an opening, a slit opening for easy movement. Just for us to take note. At the armhole area, I came in 1 inch in order to, and I went ahead and traced it out from the armhole area for easy movement at the armhole area. It's supposed to be somehow curvy. And also a sleeve opening, I trace it out all the way to the shoulder area. So that's how I'm going to cut it out. So I went ahead and cut from our sleeve, armhole area, waist, hip to the hem of the gown. So that's that. So for our sleeve opening, I came up from the hem till at that point I came up 19 inches. 19 inches. Remember, at our hem area we're going to fold it with 2 inches. So I went ahead and notched it. I gave it a notch for easy identification when I want to stitch. So here we have our front and the back bodies. Let's run down a quick look of our already cut gown. So that's it. Now I'll go ahead and remove our back bodies so that we can work and concentrate right there on the front bodies. So on these front bodies, what we are going to work upon is just our neckline area. Remember, we came down 9 inches, 9 inches from the shoulder. So we'll now cut the front neck. So from the shoulder, I came down 9 inches. So I came in 1 inch, only 1 inch. You can make yours 1.5, depending on how wide you want it to be. So from that 1 inch, I will trace it all the way up to make the neck width. Remember, the width or the wideness of our neck is 3.5 inches. So I'll cut it out. So see how the neck of our front bodice is. So what I will do next is to close in our shoulder area. So I went ahead and placed the right side of our front bodice against the right side of the back bodice. And I went ahead and pin it down with a pin. I'll go ahead then and close it at the shoulder area. Here the shoulder have been closed. And I went ahead and turned the fabric to the right side. So at that notched point on both sides, remember we came in 1 inch. So at that angle, the two angles. So what I will do, I went ahead and shook it down for easy identification when I want to put in our doll face or shining face. So what I'll do next is to measure out all the way around from that point to take out our collar measurement. So I went ahead and from that point, from one angle to the next. So what I got at the other angle was 26 inches. So I'll go right out and cut out our doll face for it. We're going to use a doll face material. You could use crepe, doll face, shiny face, and so on. So I'll go right there and cut out our doll face and also place our cut out our facing and that of the sleeve. For the collar wideness, remember we came in 1 inch. Once it's been opened up, we have 2 inches there. Now I went ahead and cut out a long strip. Remember the full length of our collar was 26 inches, so I went ahead and added extra 5 inches. So what we have there is 31 inches altogether. It's always advisable to add in so that you will not run shortage of the fabric once you are stitching on the neckline. So the wideness is 2.5 inches. Half inch is for joining it at that neckline area. So now for our facing, the length of our facing is 18 inches. All the sides are 18 inches in length. So it's going to be placed just this way at that point, after which I must have closed in our long strip. Just the way you see me doing it. After we must have joined our collar, so our long or our facing will be closing or stitch upon just this way. Just like so in that style or pattern. I will use this to cut it out too. So I'll go ahead and cut out another sample of it. Yes, I want to double it out because I'm going to stitch it out all the way around. So I went ahead and placed the right side facing each other. So I'll use the first one to cut out the second sample. So here we go. So we have 2 of these. So I'll go ahead and place it right side facing each other and now use half inch to close it on all the sizes. But at this point or at one edge, I will just leave, I left out 3 inches. From there, I will turn it out to the right side. Another way you can do this, you can just use just one sample of this and place it and fold in or iron in half inch all the way around and stitch on the fabric. So it depends on your choice. But in my case, I'm going to use 2 samples of it to close it out. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now our fabric has been turned out to the right side. So what I will do next is to notch at the back neckline. I went ahead and gave it a notch at the midpoint. And also I went ahead and notched our strip, the center point of our long strip. So at both edges, or at both notch points, so it's going to place one notch against the other, just like so. And I went ahead and pin it down all the way around the neck line, which I have done. So what I will do next is to stitch it all the way around and then cut out the excess material or the excess surface left. So I'll close, after which, after cutting it out, I'll then close it at that point. So at this point, or at the edges, I gave it a notch, a tiny notch of just half inch in on both sides, and also on the other side, just cut tiny notch. This will enable us to close it at that point, the fabric against the doll face. So after stitching it all the way around at the neckline, so I went ahead and stuck it all the way in at the wrong side. Remember, what we are working on is our right side of the fabric. So it's going to be placed just this way. Yeah, see how our fabric is. See how neat it is already. So I went ahead and turned it to the wrong side. So see what I was trying to demonstrate. That means we have, at this point, we have just half inch of the fabric. So I went ahead and cut out the excess surface. Have you seen why I said it's always good for you to have excess than to run shortage of it? It's always on a better side. So now we have half inch to stitch on, just the way you see me doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch only at that point, and now turn it to the right side. So here we have our fabric well stitched. See how beautiful it is already. I went ahead and iron it out. So now for our facing, our design, you could make any design of your choice depending on how you want it. So remember, we left out just 3 inches where we used that. At that point we stuck it out to the right side. So what I'll do now is to close it at that point. Go to my sewing machine and stitch right there on it, and now place it on our fabric depending on how you want it to be placed, but I just wanted it to be in that shape. It could also be in this shape, so it depends on your preference. I want it to be this way. So what I will do now is to stitch all the way around, only on the right bodice. Please take note, not both the front and the back bodice, only on the front bodice. So for our pocket now, I came down 19 inches. You could make yours 19, 20 inches depending on how you want it, how lengthy you want your pocket to be. So I went ahead and marked down 19 inches on both sides from the shoulder. So for our pocket space or pocket length, depending on how wide you want your pocket to be. So for mine, I came down 7 inches on both sides. 7 inches in length. Then I mark it down. I also went ahead and gave it a notch, a tiny notch. I also did the same on the other side. So right there for our facing, I went ahead and used pin to tackle it down. I hold it down at all the edges with a pin to enable me to stitch it down. So right now, the chest facing has been stitched right there on the right bodice. And for our sleeve, I went ahead and opened it up just this way. So I'll go ahead and take out the sleeve length for both the front bodice and back bodice together. What I got there was 22 inches. So I went ahead and cut out the doll face of 22 inches in length, while the wideness is 3 inches. So what I will do next is to place our satin on both sleeves. After which, I'm going to put in our pocket, insert our pocket at our pocket space on both sides. So before then, I'll go ahead and close in using 1 inch. Remember, we mapped out 1 inch for seam allowance. So we'll close it all the way there. Once we stop at the pocket area, we'll also close in all the way down. Remember, we have our slit. So we'll stop right there where we give it a notch for our slit opening. Just here for our slit opening. So I'll also close in using 1 inch on the other side. And for the hemming of our gown, remember we mapped out 2 inches for it. So I went ahead and closed in just this way and stitch on it all the way around the gown, the hem of the gown rather. So now we've come to the end of our class today. Thank you so much for staying with me to this point. So if today is your first time, please just click on that red button and subscribe, okay? And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming in once again. Please stay tuned for more amazing content. Subscribe to my channels, my friends, okay? And also give this video a thumbs up. Place a comment, I'll be there to answer it. Share the video to your friends and well wishers. And click on that notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Thank you and bye for now.